This is Steve Downs, the voice of Master Chief, Sierra 117, and you're watching Xbox Ultimate. Now, finish the fight. Chief out.
Hello, everybody. Hi. Yeah. How's it going?
Wait, are we live?
If the panel would be quiet for a second, I can do a proper introduction here.
We have topics. You tweeted out.
I don't know. Do we have topics? We have at least
we
one
haven't
topic.
settled on what this show is about.
We're pretty boring.
Hey guys, this is Xbox Ultimate Podcast. Thank you for joining in. We're on episode freaking 42, guys. Holy crap. Yeah, I know it's like rolling. In 2 months we'll be in like at 50. We gotta have a little bit of a like 50 celebration or something. I don't know. But thank you all for being here in the chat. You guys rock. We also have members now that have joined the channel. Thank you guys so much as well. I hope you enjoy those emojis. I see lots of fingers out there. Thank you for that. Animal crackers and all that stuff. So, hey guys, we got 6 of the 7 here today. Lady had to take the night off. So shout out to Lady. We miss you greatly. And we'll see you next week. But we
have seltzer in the honor.
Drinking seltzer in her honor. What about a White Claw? You should be drinking a White Claw in her honor.
Oh yeah, that's the thing.
I think any seltzer will do when it comes to her.
Seltzer? Okay.
Yeah.
So we do have a very special guest here today. I have actually known this gentleman for quite a while. Ever since I kind of started my journey. He's been like super supportive of this channel I think even before I had 100 subs. Like I was interacting with Matt on Twitter back and forth. He was very supportive of me, and I always have been like enamored with his content and how like professional and amazing it looks. And he's like exploded over the last few months, guys. He's like at 2,200 plus subs now. It's just going crazy. It's amazing. I love your content, dude. Marvel stuff, you got wrestling stuff, all the works. And hey man, it's super awesome we can finally hook up on a show together, because oddly as it is, we have never done that before.
I know. We'll talk about almost weekly basically, and then we finally get to do it, so I'm excited. Thank you for having me. It's good to see all of these fine gentlemen on the show. Man. And Madam is also
Madams
having an issue.
We usually have 3 madams. We're down to 2 right now. 2.5 if you count 3-bit, I guess. Just
do that
with his seltzer.
Hey, and we have a new channel member there. This man in the middle here that everybody wants a piece of. Pong, dude. Thanks for joining the Speculators crew, man.
What?
You didn't have to do that. Yeah, man.
How the hell did that happen?
I don't know. I wish I could. Honestly, I wish I could like give out those things as well. To certain people.
Absolutely. Of course,
specifically the panel members. But thanks, dude.
I'm just giving to my family. You'll give it back to me someday.
Yeah.
Oh, and we just got another.
Hey, wait a second. What does that mean?
Pause.
Pause. And we have a Lupa as well. Lupa, you guys, I freaking love you guys. You're amazing. Now, guys, I hope you enjoy the emojis and all the stuff that we're doing. It's a kind of a step, honestly, just for us to be able to try and like take another level of commitment back to you guys. Also, It makes it more interactive and fun for you guys as well. So thank you, everybody, Lupa, Pong, and Psycho, and all the speculators out there, and the panel members as well, of just contributing to this channel. You guys fucking rock. All right. Now, we do have a show to do as well, and I wanted to maybe start out with, hey, has anybody been talking about Biomutant the last couple days?
Did he follow all of our intros again?
Oh my god, I did it again!
In a
He's
row.
like,
No,
F everybody else.
you guys know these
Yeah.
assholes. Right?
I've done it.
Yeah.
I've done it again. Okay, guys.
I think this is the third week in a row.
I think it is. There's too many of you guys now. It's like it just like escapes me. First in my heart is my lovely wife, Kaitlin. Hey, baby. She just wants me to say that. I think that's what she has to make sure.
I
misses it.
absolutely do not want you to say that
Yeah.
ever
Well,
again.
first in my heart is my lovely wife, Kate. Hey, baby. How's it going?
It's going good. I'm excited for the show.
See, I say that, Mav. I say that to my wife.
Yeah.
I say, "Hey, baby," but I don't do it sincerely. I legit go up to her and I go, "Hey, baby." She goes, "Stop it! It's 8 a.m." I'm like, "Okay."
I feel like I would prefer
Hey,
Sounds
that.
like
morning.
Batman.
You would
I'm
prefer
Batman.
that if I did that? Okay. Hey, baby.
Try it.
First in my
Yeah,
heart.
yeah.
My lovely wife,
You
Kate.
gotta
Well, you
creep
can
her out
just
a
cut
little
the
more.
first in my heart crap.
Okay. Hey, baby. My sexy wife. All right.
Okay.
We also
All
have.
right.
We also have
Wife.
the extraordinary assassin Lupa here as well to talk all things Xbox. How's it going, Lupa?
Oh, it's going great. Second podcast today. Living the real life. No, it's great. Let's get at it. I'm
I
looking
love you,
forward to
Lupa.
the topic.
Living the real life. The podcast
She's
life
living
is the
the
real
high
life.
life.
Nice. And then we have Mr. Long Dong Pong joining us as well. What's up,
I always
dude?
accept that compliment. Thank you.
Hey,
Appreciate
man,
it.
everybody wants
You
a
like
piece
walking in
of
the office with that? Like you just
He's got a t-shirt coming. He doesn't know.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
better.
yeah.
then he
That's
has to
not
stop, then he has to stop
intended.
shouting it out of his car.
Yeah, I just that's just how I introduce myself. Straight up. I just yell it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bong, dong, bong.
His license plate
Starbucks,
is LDP.
LONG on my cup.
What's up, everybody? Good to see you. Assemble. Awesome to be on another show with you, brother. I don't know
Likewise.
if I remember, but you were on Shop Podcast
Yeah,
with me. You didn't get to see
absolutely.
my face that time. That's fine,
get
but great to have you here. Thank you for dropping in with the family here. Lady, missing you a lot. You know that already. Can't wait to get you back next week. But obviously, it's Friday night, guys. We're coming up on E3, so news-wise, not so much. But of
Yeah.
course, we've always got the drama and everything else. And we're magicians around here. We'll figure out a way to come up with some topics, even though Mav doesn't know what they are right now. We'll figure it out. So
I
Well, let's have a
got
good night.
stuff up my sleeve.
We're here to help him.
Yeah.
And then we
You're all
have
hosts.
hey, I think we saw something new today on 3Bit's channel where he was drawing, and my mind just wow,
Yeah, thanks.
incredible. What's up, dude? How's it going, man?
It's going good. That was a very like impromptu thing. I was like, I want to like draw and actually stream it because usually I just draw and I don't. So I need to start like whenever I'm working on like a project, I want to like show people what I'm working on.
yeah,
'cause
like
I
Clinter
just
Spell. Why can't we see Clinter Spell when you're working on it?
well that one not confirming nor denying.
Ooh.
But yeah, I want to start streaming that stuff. But it's good to be here with the fam. We're on episode, was it 40 something?
42.
2.
42. That's crazy. That we've done it this long, and we're here with the family, Lupa, Psycho, Pong, Kaitlin, and Assemble. So it's good to see you guys, and let's get this show on the road.
And then we have the mellow fellow from outer space, my dude, Psychonauts. What's up, man? How's it going, bro?
I'm doing great. Playing the crap out of the Scarlet Nexus demo last night, and playing some Knockout City today. And I was playing the Wild at Heart yesterday. That was a fun game. I like that a lot. So, been busy playing some games, and can't wait to get into these topics. So let's get this show going.
Heck yeah, man. Okay, so as I was saying earlier, before I rudely forgot to introduce you guys again, Biomutant. It's been a little bit of a topic the last couple days, right? I think this whole thing regarding, some people being upset that they're not necessarily getting the same quality version as some other people. It's getting a little out of hand, and also taking it to the developers and actually forced the publisher to become defensive on Twitter, which is something you usually don't see very often, which has been pretty awesome as well, for them sticking up for a small dev team like the people that are making Biomutant, which is a game that a lot of people have been looking forward to for a long time. And hey, everybody, there's no reason not to keep looking forward to this game because it looks absolutely awesome. No matter which platform you're going to be playing it on, it's going to be a great experience. And you're probably not going to get that much of a different experience. It is what it is, right? It is what it
Play
is.
it out of defiance is what I say. Leave the devs alone.
Yeah.
Sony's fault.
Okay. So, yeah. Well,
she's not wrong.
She's not wrong. All right, she's not wrong there. No. But it's not necessarily like, it's just a difference in strategy of priorities, right? So it's not necessarily like, it is a last gen game, right? Me and Psychonauts were talking about this earlier, right? It's actually a PS4 and an Xbox One game, right? It's been in development for a long time. Xbox has more stuff to be able to make those games run better on current gen consoles because it's more of the same architecture and all that kind of stuff, right? And 3-bit can maybe go into some of that as well, but it's just easier for those last gen games to get those kind of upgrades, right? As kind of what it seems like. So it's not like it's really the devs' fault, right? And it's not even that big of a difference. Have you been following any of that controversy, Matt, about this nonsensical stuff?
Only looking it up recently, actually.
Yeah.
But taking a step back, we were talking about this just for a second before we went on. Number one, I mean, it's a last gen game, and we still there's plenty of titles in the pipeline from both Xbox and PlayStation that are going to be hitting consoles soon, that were built for last gen or whatever, and they're not going to be next gen graphics and super enhanced, right? I mean, Xbox is really priding itself on being able to give you next gen enhancements and all of that. I just feel that people are focusing on the wrong thing, which is if they're looking at, oh, it's not graphically enhanced and it's not next gen for us. It's like, well, there is always that long debate, right, about graphics versus gameplay and what really matters within a game, and graphics matter to an extent, depends what you're playing probably, but if the game is solid, we should be talking about how great the game is and not trying to pigeonhole and say, yeah, but it's not a next gen title. Well, then go play that next gen title and experience if you want it. But Psychonauts, I know you were saying before the show too, like talking about how, look at Ratchet and Clank, right?
Yeah, Ratchet and Clank and Returnal, both 1080p 60 on the PS5, but this game, because there's a comparison between two consoles, they're trashing on this game, which is, to me, it's silly. I mean, why is it okay for those games but not for, it's not okay for this? So I mean, it's silly, and it just needs to stop because those guys put a lot of time into this. It's only a 20 team dev, and they put a lot of time into this game, and what we've seen looks phenomenal. I mean, the gameplay looks solid, a lot of customization, and you're a kung fu wielding animal, whatever it is, rat. I don't know, but it looks intriguing, and I want to try it. It looks.
I have a very salty take on the whole situation, kind of different from everybody.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. It really is.
I think first off, like, for one, people going after the devs is annoying to me, and okay, so the biggest difference between this generation and the previous generation, people need to start thinking about it differently, right? Because this generation, the difference between the Series X and the Xbox One is the resolution, and it is the frame rate. That's like the biggest difference, I would say, between the last generation and this one. And in terms of like different techniques of how they get their games to be boosted, it kind of just happened that way because I think PlayStation sort of thought of backwards compatibility as an afterthought, and that sort of hurt them. But it's not, when people think about backwards compatibility, they think about, oh, that's just old games. But no, Biomutant is a brand new game, right? And they're releasing it for the previous consoles and also the new consoles. Is a brand new game, but it's hurting it in that regard. PlayStation is sort of doing it in a way where it's sort of downing the performance to a PS4 Pro in a way, which is kind of why it's harder for the devs to hit that higher performance rate, because it's using the PS4 Pro as like a basis for like game. But where my saltiness sort of comes from is the people and like and how they're attacking the devs. That's just like so annoying to me, because these devs, they work hard on the game and they're blaming the devs for not being able to reach those benchmarks.
Yeah.
And it's not the devs' fault. It is kind of because PlayStation decided to go with a different route for backwards compatibility. Like they basically are using like the PS4 Pro, which is why like a lot of the patches that they need to do for like Last of Us 2, right? That was a recent thing that happened. The devs need to go in and create a whole separate version for like a PS5.
Right, because PlayStation believes in generations.
Well, that was the whole thing, right? But they need to go ahead and create a whole separate version on the PS5 in order to fully take advantage of that hardware. Whereas in the Xbox, it's very easy. They can boost the frame rate, boost the resolution, which is why Biomutant is one of these examples where they can push it to 4K and 60, and this is not even the next gen version of it, but it kind of already is hitting that almost next gen title. But what I say about like the term next gen, to me, the only thing between this generation and the last is the frame rate and the resolution. So if you're buying a new console, those are the two things you're buying it for, right? You're buying it for that frame rate and the resolution, for the most part. Otherwise, why get a new console if it's going to perform like the previous? So I think what PlayStation is probably going to do in the future is try their best to increase those backwards compatibility technology, like do what they can there, or they'll just wait it out like a couple years. You know, most games are probably just going to be developed for that PS5 for the Series X, but we'll see what they do. But in terms of the architecture, it's the same. So x86 architecture for the Series X and Xbox One means that these games are scalable, and games are naturally scalable with that same architecture. So if you're building a game for the PC, and your intention is to also release it on consoles, then you're not being held back by another console. PC is naturally scalable. When you build a game for the PC, you're building it for all types of graphics cards, like 1060 all the way to like a 3090. Just so, because on the market, people are not going to have the fanciest graphics cards, but you still want people to be able to play your game. So if you are building a game for the PC, naturally it's scalable. So that whole argument where people are like, the Xbox One is holding back the Series X or the PS4s, whatever, it's not necessarily true.
It's the second time though. It's exactly the same thing the dev said about Returnal. They couldn't do it with the PS, and I'm not fanboying on PS or whatever they call it. I'm seeing what was written, and what was written was disgusting. And where was Sony coming in to back them up?
Returnal is only on the PS5 too, right?
Yeah, so here's something I wanted to say about that real quick, okay? Returnal is a PS5 only game, right? Ratchet and Clank is a PS5 only game, okay? Now this is an Xbox podcast, so we don't usually talk about PlayStation that much, but this game this game has been drugged through the mud the last 2 days, okay?
Yeah.
If Insomniac can't do it with Ratchet and Clank, and if House Marquee can't do it with Returnal, why should the Biomutant development team of 20 people be able to do it, especially on a PlayStation 4 game? So that's my thing. It just get that shit out of you guys' head. It's ignorance. It's stupid. It's not their fault. Move past it. It is a difference, but if you are accepting it and happy with Ratchet and Clank at 1080p 60, and if you are accepting it and happy with Returnal at 1080p 60, why can you not be accepting and happy about Biomutant at 1080p 60? Why go after a small team of developers and criticize them? And I know the reason why. It's because Xbox has a version that's 4K 60 and you don't. That's why you're upset. It's not because it's 1080p 60. If that game was a PS5 exclusive, you would be defending it instead of trashing it. So shut up, get over it, and move on. I'm sorry. Okay.
And I've seen the gameplay, and it looks really good on the PlayStation.
It does.
So I don't know what people are complaining about. It's a cool game. It's got so much in it. And I think that 18 team 101 have done amazing. And it looks awesome. It runs awesome. Come on.
Yeah. And they've even said that like me and Matt were talking about behind the scenes, like there's possibly a next gen version. They did say that, in one of their disclaimers, why the PS5 is not at 4K 60, and they touched on that they're gonna come out at some point about maybe having a next gen version. We don't know yet. They've teased it before, so we just gotta wait. So all this noise right now is really for nothing. It's a back compact game. It looks fun, so let's play it. That's what we do
100%.
as gamers. We play games. That's what gamers do.
And we're going to talk about the game specifically in a second, but I got to get to some of these super chats real quick. At KY Bob, with a $5 super chat, thank you, sir. PS5 uses hardware profiles to run backwards compatibility. Xbox uses a software solution to take advantage of better hardware on last-gen dev titles. Yes, that is correct, and that's some of what we've been talking about.
I seen Assemble, you're about to say something.
I was just going to say that it's an interesting conversation about like a game's resolution and all of that, and people getting mad at developers. And all I kept thinking about as Psychonauts is talking about, I'm like, hey, how come a Nintendo game is 720p and then no one says boo? And then we're gonna bring it to the next gen console, 1080. So you're welcome with no new you know what I mean? Like I understand it's different games and there's different expectations, and it's Nintendo and they're off in their own land. However, there are games, small titles, indie titles on PlayStation, Xbox, and the like, that are designed in a specific way and a certain aesthetic that they're trying to hit. Some devs will use a cell shaded approach, right? Because it might just be easier based on the gameplay and the storytelling and everything else. It works for them. So it doesn't have to be the prettiest game in the world, but it plays phenomenally. So at the end of it, you get used to the game that you're playing. And I often think of Spider-Man on PS5. I'm like, yeah, I flip between ray tracing and 60. And then they had the new update or whatever. But I play that game and I'm like, I get lost in 60 frames per second. I'm not paying attention to going, how dare that, right, the draw distance down, I'm on top of a building and I can't see more bodies. And then I flip it, I go, I saw 17 more. It's better now. It sucked ass before. It's not what game are you trying to tell? And what story are you trying to tell? And they're trying to tell theirs. So let them. Stop beating them up.
Yeah, dude, 100%.
And it's not like a thing. Like if people are saying, like, this is sort of on both sides, because there's people with on the Xbox side who are kind of teasing the people like, I want to see, and then the PlayStation people who are teasing the devs. For me, it's like it's not a bad thing to say, like, hey, the Series X is more powerful, so it's probably going to perform games better. Like that's a factual statement. It's not a bad thing you saying that. But also, I think people need to also realize that with Biomutant's case and all of these other games, like Returnal didn't get the same sort of crazy backlash. and Biomutant is just, it kind of sucks because they're a smaller team, and that's the first time I've seen devs react to the people like that. But it's not a bad thing to say like, hey, Series X has 12 teraflops of power. The CPU and GPU are higher. So therefore, it's probably going to run games better. As with the PlayStation 5, they opted for the SSD, and the CPU GPU, it's variable, so it's harder for devs to optimize a game. Optimize a game for a variable thing that constantly changes. So what does that do? That means, in Biomutant, they probably had a 4K 60 version, and they're like, the frame rate keeps dipping down. It's not stable.
Well,
so
they did say the 4K version was unstable, and there was a performance issue. That's why they decided to go with the 1080p 60. That's
and this is factual things. And Assemble's what I got of what Assemble just said is, like, despite all of that, when you're playing the game, it's just going to be a fun like, just enjoy playing the game
right
at the end of it. I'm a tech person, so I love like looking into that stuff. And I I've worked around devs and all that different stuff, but like, just enjoy the game at the end of it. Like, if you have a PS5, that's all you have, and you want to play Biomutant, play Biomutant. But if you have both, then
and you're gonna get the same version you would have if you had the PS4, right? So it's fine.
Either way, whatever.
It's a PS4
all this
game.
came because they actually were honest and put a disclosure out. And the thing is that you can't be honest, because I'm being honest. If it was Xbox, I'd be saying the same damn thing. It's what people said to those devs that was just disgraceful. They put all their heart and soul and energy and passion into a game because they want to make the game good. Is it their fault that the tech can't hold up to it? No. So they tell the truth and they put it out there, and then they get slammed for that. It's disgraceful behavior.
One more thing, I got another super chat from Caper Grant, $20 super chat. Thank you, sir, so much. He says, "Happy Friday. Let the games begin." Yes. Sorry. Rock and roll. Yeah, dude. We do need to let the games begin. And I want to go to Pong Soul on this, because I feel like with all of this nonsense and what I was trying to do, and I didn't know we ended up going off track with this, but what I was trying to do is actually get back to where we can actually talk about this game, because this game comes out, like next week, right?
3 days, 25th.
25th, right? So,
Tuesday.
The conversation should be about, hey, like, look at all this awesome stuff in this game. People on any platform are going to have a great experience. Ones that they're used to on PS5 right now, there's no difference between the other releases that they're expecting and have had. And also on Xbox, same type of thing we've been experiencing with the 4K 60 as well, right? So, hey, experiences are pretty much falling in line of what to expect from the certain consoles, and we're expecting a great experience on the Xbox, and we're going to have a lot of fun playing this game. I want to know more about Biomutant. I want everybody to know why people are excited about this game and why they would even care about this controversy, Pong. And I know you're the man to give us a perfect description of what Biomutant is.
That's a lot of pressure, brother.
Dude,
that's a lot of pressure.
Break it down, man. You sold me on the game. You did. And Party Chat, you sold me on it. So
it's true.
I'll do it again.
That's just that's just my basic knowledge right there. But anyways, first of all, shout out to THQ Nordic for jumping into the fray and covering their devs and protecting them the way that they did. That right there moved THQ up on my respect ladder a lot. So shout out to them for doing what was necessary. We've seen at other times, publishers hang their developers out to dry. And in this case, THQ was all over it immediately, and they put people in their places. Again, this is a small. I know it's hard not to focus on these loud crybabies and these guys who feed off this negative drama, but it's a small group of the community. However, this community does need to root these people out, ostracize them, and not give them any more energy. And that is because there is a reason why video games in certain parts, certain people are still laughed at or looked at sideways or not considered. It's not given the place that it should as the number one entertainment right now, in probably in the world, where people go to. It's probably beating out. We've heard the numbers, TV, movies, sports. Video games is now mainstream. However, it's still got that stigma attached to it, and multiple stigmas. And part of that reason is because we have this portion of the community that does these stupid things. And what do people hear about? They hear about the stupid things. They don't hear about all the great stuff that this community does. So it's time to start ostracizing these people. Don't give them your energy. Don't retweet them. Don't come at them. Let them sit there in their corner and cry in the dark, because that's where they belong. But anyways, again, as I started, shout out to THQ Nordic for coming to their devs' defense, and for putting people in their places, and for showing how it's supposed to be done when you are a team. And that's exactly what THQ did. And props and kudos to them. And obviously, Experiment 101, props to you guys. Obviously, being a developer isn't easy. You guys, especially as a small team, I listened to the creative director's interview the other day for over an hour. The dude is amazing, down to earth guy. I mean, just unbelievable. But this small team had poured their heart into this for almost 7 years total time, because they had an iteration that had actually started prior to the one that we see now. And he said that's a story for another day. But again, these devs have a hard enough job as it is. These small teams are fighting through COVID, fighting through everything that they have to get their first major game out, and then they got to deal with this stuff on top of it. So you know what? Again, props to them, kudos to them. I hope this actually skyrockets this game's sales, which it seems like it's going to do. People jumped out of their seats the past couple of days and started saying, I'm buying 2 copies. I'm buying 3 copies. You know what? I wasn't going to buy this game, but now I'm going to, just because of this crap. And they deserve all of that. So again, I hope that happens for them.
Oh yeah.
All right, Mav, I got my rant out of the way. So
You're fine.
I'll have more tomorrow morning too on Living Split Screen, by the way.
Yeah.
But anyways, to talk about the game itself is an open world action RPG, Breath of the Wild mixed with Devil May Cry, mixed with, I don't know what else you want to say.
Jade Empire.
Jade Empire, maybe that's a good one actually. This game is, so it's an action RPG. First of all, the customization in this for your character, you can customize so much of your character, and what you are is a little mammal, I guess you want to call it, right? Mammalian. All right. And this is after not only one apocalypse, but a second apocalypse has happened. And the planet is recovering, right? It's taking back, the tree of life is taking over the planet and regrowing things, and all human life is gone. And now the animals have morphed into these beings, right? These mammalians. Okay. So you get to customize your mammalian any way you want to. It's crazy. They went through, like, I was watching the demos, and they're like,
they went through a lot of
just kept scrolling and scrolling and scrolling, all the customization. I mean, literally that was one of their selling points originally, was basically no 2 people are going to have the same mammalian at the end of the day, because you can do so much customization. So that's awesome. That's already a bonus point for me. Then you've got weapons. Then you've got martial arts. So you've got 2 fighting styles, or not 2 fighting styles, but 2 different fighting techniques that you can use between weapons and between martial arts. Then you have subclasses of martial arts, which you can learn. Okay. So you can learn new moves. Then you can combo those moves along with your weapons to form, special kind of special animation, special attacks, and all that kind of stuff. Then you get the loot, right? So now you can loot on top of this, and looting is a huge deal. They definitely took a lot of influence from Diablo, but they actually wanted to expand it out and make it more interesting. So with the loot, you can find loot everywhere, but they didn't want to have it like Breath of the Wild, where you get your favorite piece of equipment and it would break down after a while, and you need to have, all that kind of stuff. They didn't want that. So your equipment never breaks down. You can continue to upgrade your weapons.
Ooh, cool.
But if you look at the weapon upgrade system that they've developed, it is insane. Like, it is like Borderlands level of different types of
Yeah.
weapons that
That's
you
what
can
I was
have.
thinking, Pong. It looked like
Yeah.
Borderlands.
Right, right.
have to make it.
Except you're creating them, right?
Mm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you got to find the
Yeah.
individual
All
pieces
the
and
like
create.
the
It's crazy.
handles, the muzzles. If you want to do
Oh.
long
Yes.
range, you've got
Yep.
to find the
Nice.
right stuff for
Yep.
you and build it. And the
It's-
different biomes is amazing.
It's amazing. And the creative director was talking about how important this was to him. And he actually said that there are some weapons that you can create that are extremely powerful. Like he's like, we found out early on, like watching people play, that people were putting together some crazy weapons. Like, so they're not even sure of all the different combinations like that you can make. Like it surprises
Wow.
them sometimes when people find out. Then you
Yeah.
got a skill tree. You still have a skill tree, pretty classic style skill tree, but they're not going to limit you depending upon your class. You can mix and match. You can kind of, really create the character that you want to as far as fighting style goes. And then you have this open world. And they've talked about that the main missions will take you somewhere. I think it was between 18 and 25 hours, I think he said.
Mhm.
But he said if you do the side missions, you're talking about a lot more content. They like said like a lot. Like he was laughing about it. Like
Yeah, but they're not random side missions that take you nowhere. They're there because you do them to get certain loot, and you have to have certain things to be able to go into different biomes.
Yep.
And if you haven't got like a gas mask and etc., or the protection to go into the radiation area, you just die. Or the snow, you have to be having a warm coat and stuff like that. So they are there for a reason. They're not just random.
Right. Correct. And so you've got all of that going on. You get to actually train pets. So it's got a pet system. You can either
Wow.
buy them or
But
you
you
can
are a
find different.
pet. I'm confused.
Huh?
You're an animal with a pet. Okay.
Yes,
Hey, that
correct.
works.
A mammalian, a pet. That's basically what it is. But yes,
Is it
you
just
can
like a
have
smaller
pets.
mammalian?
Yeah, I
He's
think
a
so.
tiny
Or they're
mammalian.
more like
Yeah,
rudimentary
small.
animals, right? So they're more
Okay.
basic.
They
I
get
think
little
is what it
almond
is.
child babies to go around everywhere.
Yeah.
But yeah, if
Almond
you
child
watch
babies.
the battle
You
system,
just have an ant.
yeah,
Like, you're already a little raccoony thing. So
Right,
a little ant
exactly.
will do good.
But it's crazy if you watch the videos out on it, how in depth this game actually goes. At first glance, it looks like, oh man, it's gorgeous. It's beautiful. The graphics are stunning. I mean, they pop off the screen,
Yeah.
the colors that they use. I mean, again, you get that, Breath of the Wild or Phoenix Rising kind of color pop, right? So it just grabs you right away. But then you start watching the battles, and it's insane because actually, when you pull off a special combination move, they give you actually indicators too to help you figure out what your special combos are. They don't tell you flat out what they are, but they indicate when you can hit the right button and pull off a special kind of combo. They did that to make it accessible for people, but you don't have to. But when you pull off one of those special moves, like they've got comic book style script that pops up on the screen with words and stuff as you hit, as you hit whoever you're battling. Just cool things like that. Really unique style to the game. But again, you're talking about all my favorite aspects here, man. You got RPG, you got loot, you got customization, you got skill trees, you got all this stuff. Then you got side quests, and they said that there is tons of hidden stuff that you off the beaten path that you can go find randomly. And they definitely suggested if you are that type of player that you go and look for things because you generally will be rewarded and find things. So man, I can't wait. I was hyped. I remember when this came, when they showed this years and years ago, and then it fell off the radar.
Yeah.
And then when they just came back this past year, I was like, oh, that's right. This game, man, I'm excited. 25th can't come soon enough. I'm pre-ordered.
First off, that was great, Pong. It made me want to buy the game even.
He already did it to me in party chat because I was like,
and,
you guys, like, I'd heard about it a long time ago and then kind of forgot about it, and I've been hearing about it again recently, knowing it was coming soon. So, but it's like more than I thought it was. The game's way bigger and more than I had assumed when I first saw it a long time ago. And real quick, we got a $2 super chat from Jean-Marc Louis. It says, "We'll come to Game Pass eventually, but I'll buy it." Hey, I'm gonna buy it too. I'm actually, I said, Pong sold me on this game when he told me about all the stuff that was in it.
The thing is, we basically got the negative part out the way, right? And so that was a cool conversation to have, because if you guys watch our shows, we always are praising games and saying what our favorite stuff is. But this was sort of a conversation that needed to happen because it's so prevalent right now of like what's going on in the community. And basically the devs are people. You know, devs at the end of the day
they're not in the millions, guys. Okay.
Yeah.
So
well, they are.
You know,
we
enjoy the game. Pong pitched it very well, making me want to buy it like immediately. So
I already was gonna. I'm like, Pong, I've been watching
now
it for years,
yeah.
keeping my eye on it for years. It's my kind of thing. Even though he doesn't like Zelda, he says he keeps referring to it.
Because I have to, because a lot of people know about it.
I want to know,
putting it out there, Pongy.
I want to know if Pong Soul has sold Matt on the game right now.
I've been sitting here listening to you guys, and I have been on their site, and then I found the store, and then they have plushies, and they have like a statue in the deluxe edition. I was like, hell yeah. But no, like honestly, I was looking at all that gameplay footage, and Pong, like everything you described, I'm like, it scratches a lot of itches that I would have for a game where if I have weapons and they're not going to break down like all these components, and I don't really like going through that grind mechanic of having to piece everything back together, all of that, but being able to have the ability to customize some of my weapons the way I want to, and custom character stuff is always big for me. It's just fun. You can get lost in a menu for 35 minutes or just tweak them as you go, right? And that's half the fun. So the one thing how long is the game itself? Like
the main missions, they said I think it was between 18 to 25 hours if you ran straight through.
Okay.
If I'm playing it, it'd be 80 to 100.
Right.
Yeah, it just depends on what you do.
Yeah, what they do off to the side and stuff. They said you're allowed to go straight across the world as far as you can. He said you're going to get to a point where you meet, baddies that you can't battle, right? He said you're gonna have to put in a little work, but you can beeline it through the main story. And I think they said somewhere between 18 and 25 hours.
Yeah, I'm sold.
That's cool.
Yeah. Now there's some game key features that I want to discuss. Like there's so they here
you get a mech, guys. You get a mech.
Yeah.
There's a mech in it.
Yeah, and flying helicopters and everything you can think of, you can do in this game. It's absolutely awesome. I'll shut up now. Sorry.
Sorry, Psycho. I started it again.
It's all
Go
good.
ahead.
No, so here's these bullet points for the game features. So it's a new take on third person combat. So there's martial arts style combat, allows you maximum freedom of movement and agility, mixing shooting, melee, and powers from your mutations. And I've seen one thing with the martial arts that you actually go to different senseis and learn different martial arts styles.
Correct.
So that's really cool. So you can learn whatever different things. So the game's not like you read a scroll, now you do it. You know what I mean? So you actually gotta not grind, but there's things you have to go, you gotta go and learn different martial arts style. Evolve your gameplay, so you'll be able to recode your genes to change the way you look and play. Next level crafting, mix match parts, like you were saying, mix match parts to create your own unique single or double-handed slash, crash, and pierce melee weapons, and gear up your adventure. You have full freedom to equip your character, not only when it comes to choosing weapons you created, but you can also what type of gear you wear. And survive in a vibrant open world. You can create your own adventure as you journey, explore the open world.
So it's not just your weapons, it's like what you wear as well.
Yeah.
And did I hear it right where you said like the different, like I guess races or something? Does that affect your stats? Like anything you choose?
Yeah. So
it's deep.
So whatever
and
race you have,
everybody's ending will
your...
be different because of the way you play.
Yes. So
That's
and
awesome.
then it so you explore the open world and what lies beneath its surface by foot, mech, jet ski, air balloon, and more. So there's more way to
Air balloon?
traverse.
Yeah, air balloon.
More ways to traverse.
Why?
Why not?
I mean, that right
Yeah,
there,
it's fine.
why
No,
not?
it's
Guys,
there.
The number one thing for me with this game is that when you run, you get on all fours.
Yeah.
It
That's
just looks
amazing.
cool.
It's so
It just
fun.
like it's. I
And the
saw it on the
jumping.
gameplay. I was like,
Do
oh,
you,
that
do you
looks
go
fun.
like
You gotta.
Yeah, baby.
cool?
Yeah, baby.
Nothing.
And,
Yeah,
and then the last, so the
Not
last
surprised to hear that.
last key feature. Yeah, that's what he likes the best. Come on,
Caitlin,
Caitlin.
shush.
So the
Stop me
last
going
key,
now.
the last key feature in this is a plague is ruining the land, and the tree of life is bleeding to death from its roots. The tribes stand divided, in need of someone strong enough to unite them or bring them all down. So you have to unite the island or destroy these other tribes that are within the island.
Yeah,
So
Psycho.
I mean,
And you get to
Psycho.
choose whether to kill the tree or let it live.
Yes, you get. That's what I also forgot to talk about because you can make friends with different tribes, right? So you got to start out and pick right away. But there's also a light side and a dark side in this game, and you make choices.
kind of like Mass Effect.
Kind of like
So
Mass
this
Effect,
is
kind of like
like-
KOTOR, kind of like
gonna
those
say
style
KOTOR.
games.
This is
right?
like
So-
Jade Empire, but you're a squirrel.
Right.
Yeah.
But yeah, you get
Uh,
that as well,
cool.
and that also does have some effect on different stats and different things you can do within the game itself too. So
Yeah. So this thing sounds freaking amazing.
totally forgot about that. Thank you.
Amazing. And the gameplay that we saw, it was what, like 20 plus minutes, I think it was. Was it the
I didn't watch any
PS5 and
gameplay
X-
for it, so it's
so
cool hearing it
there's-
from you guys. I mean, I
yeah,
seen
there-
it a long time ago.
There's
but-
a 50-minute stream out
Yeah,
there.
that one. Yeah. There's
Okay,
a 50-minute stream for.
so it's 50
PlayStation.
minutes. Okay.
Mm.
Yeah, because there's a PS5 version and then there's an Xbox Series X version out there. I posted them. I didn't see how long the Xbox and the PS5 versions were, but they were. But I mean, it looks freaking. The little snippet that I saw, it looks amazing, and I'm like, I'm all about this game. I'm like,
Cool.
I was like, I'm buying Scarlet Nexus next month, so I was like, I'll hold off. But I'm like, after seeing all this and
Can't do
everything
that.
talked about tonight, I am buying this game
I already bought it.
today.
Yeah.
When this podcast is done, I'm gonna go buy it.
Yeah. Is
Yeah,
it
that-
pre-downloadable
I'm-
right now? Or-
It comes out like
It
when?
comes out on
Tuesday.
Tuesday, but you know how
Tuesday.
sometimes they don't actually let you
Okay.
install the game ahead of time. I'm just curious if you can
Yeah,
install
like
it.
the
think
Ascent
there's
is
pre-order.
pre-downloadable. Oh, it says, hang on, I'm just checking. It says, check install progress.
Oh, so you can install it.
Nice.
It's installing right now. And if you
Wow.
buy it with the pre-order, then you get the mercenary edition, which means you can do all the kung fu from the beginning.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Oh,
the Kung Fu from the beginning. Nice.
Yes.
It's pretty
You
sick.
do, you get it's the mercenary class, but he's all like,
Now is he?
shaman or whatever.
It's pretty much the creative director described. He got asked that question during his interview. That if that was because a lot of people were kind of upset because their whole team's thing about the entire game was they want it open for everybody. They don't want to ever limit you in what you can get or do. And so then there was some questions about this pre-order and the mercenaries thing. Basically, the mercenary allows you to dual wield out the gates, and you get some clothing, right? You get a special appearance look to it, but you can open up the dual wielding almost right away with one of the other classes if you want to do it. And they even hate the term class. There's just no better way to describe it. They were trying to stay away from that. So yeah, the mercenary thing is something that it will give you a little bit extra in the beginning, but it's something that it's not locked away. You can create basically the same type during your playthrough. So
Yeah.
it
Like,
doesn't hold
it-
anything back.
No, it's all about what class you pick at the beginning and whether you like to be stay back and do ranged, or whether you want to be up in faces with kung fu fighting, or you
Yeah,
want
there's
to be
guns too, right?
meleeing.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's just like you can just choose what as it's hard to say it without saying class, but it is a class.
Yeah, it
And
is.
then you build on that class and you going down that course. That makes it, and the fact that the ending is always different on how you play makes it replayable.
Yeah,
So
the
that
replay
is
value.
another bonus, because it's got
Yeah.
the replayability where, oh well, I've done that class, now I want to see what it's like to do this class. Or I think there's about is there 6 or 8 different classes? I can't remember now, but there's a
Something
lot.
like that. Yeah.
Cool Cat Terry says, I find it extremely interesting that our stats changes your appearance too. So what, do you get
Yeah,
buffed?
that's a little
Yeah.
fable-ish,
Mhm.
right?
And
I
don't they go
wonder-
into slow-mo when you're doing the fighting and you hit one of your special moves? Sort of goes into a slow-mo thing.
Because I haven't seen any. I try not to watch too many new things about this. I've seen this game long time ago. I forgot about it, like Yupong. Like I remember seeing a bunch of like different dev videos about it. It was mostly about the customization more so than the gameplay, if I remember correctly. But yeah, you guys pitched it to me. I'm gonna get it.
Hey, we got a $5 super chat from KY Bob. Thank you again, sir. I greatly appreciate it. He says the cover art reminds me of Buck from Ice Age Collision Course. LOL.
If I can move your head.
You could probably make him look like Buck.
Is that the cover?
No, but it's one of the fighting scenes.
Oh, okay, never mind.
That's the demo that I remember
to the cover.
from back in the
It's
day.
very similar. He's just standing there with a sword, great big
Yeah,
sword
that's
over his
when he
shoulder with the greenery around him.
Yeah.
Splits that dude's swords in half.
Yeah.
Yep.
And that's what that scene is.
Is that like an enemy you face?
Yeah, that's the enemy.
Ooh.
Some
So-
of the enemies are huge 3-bit.
Dang.
There's 5 main bosses that you have to
Ginormous.
defeat.
Yeah.
So there's 5 main like areas that you got to go fight. They had 6, but they cut one out to focus on the 5. So
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
I mean it's cool because with an open world like that, you can go wherever you want.
Yeah.
So the exploration is whatever you can find. So each, like, let's say if you didn't check out this corner of the map, and in your next replay, you can almost hit the whole freaking map or try to.
Yep.
And you can find different things all the time. And what I would like to see, different things, will it change where characters are with each replay?
yes. And that's the other interesting thing, because you
Okay.
meet random NPCs, Psycho, and the
Oh,
creative
nice.
director said they actually have it. So like if you meet like a random NPC like in a different area, but there's something like hidden in that area, the NPC knows to like make a comment about it, to give you a hint. Like, hey, I heard there's something, I heard there's like an interesting cave here. But it could be like an NPC that you just randomly meet. And if you meet him somewhere else, he won't say that. But if he's in that general area, he'll give you that hint.
Cool.
Nice.
Yeah.
The,
I gotta watch
the
these
NPCs are real talk.
Yeah, I dropped the interview in our DMs, so anybody who wants to watch that.
And I'm watching gameplay right now, and I'm like, he's just kind of in like this camp area fighting some of the guys, and like it just pops up to show you that there's different even combo attacks you can do.
Correct.
Where it's like hit X and A, and then you will do just different specials, and there's just a ton in there just from even the gameplay mechanics. So instead, because at first glance I'm thinking, okay, pulled back camera, being able to just like grab a rifle, and I'm gonna kind of almost like Ratchet and Clank, where I'm like, I've got my blasters and things like that, and I'm a little bit further back. But looking at this, it's so diverse, and there is so much you can do, and just even the world itself looks really, really cool.
It's a very unique
I
game.
liked the biomes.
Yeah, very
sure.
unique, man.
Yeah.
Very unique game.
That's what I'm excited about. Because I know I'll play this, and I'm like, I've never played this experience before. Right?
It could be the
And
sleeper hit of this
it could. You never know.
Yeah.
Sometimes games like this come out of nowhere, and then they just become like this mega
Like
phenomenon.
It Takes Two.
You know,
I feel like It Takes Two came out of nowhere.
It Takes Two is
Mhm.
is me and a lot of other people's on this panel's game of the year right now. Right?
Yeah,
Just
me too.
absolutely incredible.
Yep.
Yeah, it's good.
I've been through it twice already. Anybody want to go through it? I'm
Have
ready again.
you had a chance to play that yet, Matt? Did you play It Takes Two?
No, I didn't actually.
Dude, you
No.
gotta-
Oh my
Okay,
god.
we-
Everyone talks about it.
Oh my god.
I wish I was in his
Oh.
position where I was.
Kick him off the
pretty
show,
much-
please,
Oh, yes.
Kaitlin, right now. Block him.
Block him.
You gotta
It's
play
really
it, man.
good.
It's like I wish I was in your position where I've never played it, so I can play it
Mhm.
again.
Same.
It's like one of the best co-op games.
It's the
Ever,
best co-op
I
game
think.
ever made.
Yeah, I was about to say like, oh, it's one of the, but no, I think it's one of the
The
best co-op
best.
games ever. Yeah, the best.
Okay, I'll say it's the best game focused on co-op ever made, because like other games have co-op, right? Like that is just a part of it. So I'm not saying that it's better than like Halo Combat Evolved, right, which had co-op in the game, right? Is legendary status game, right? But as a game that's like built around the co-op experience,
Yeah.
this is the best one that's ever been created. I will stand by that.
It's and the fact that it launched with no bugs, no day one bloody patches, nothing wrong with it at all. It plays smoothly. It's got beautiful graphics, beautiful colors, and the dialogue between the wife and husband is so funny and so poignant. And then you get hit in the feels by little Rosie. It's just amazing.
Yeah, good stuff.
Yeah. Hey, and Indie Gamer made a good point just now in the chat regarding Biomutant as well, because this game was a little under the radar still to a point, right? And he says that even though it was awful, it was a blessing in disguise at the dev attack, as now so many people know about this game because it has exploded onto Twitter with so much conversation. Now a lot of people are like, okay, well, what is this game, right? And it's actually that's that whole thing about like no any kind of attention is good attention or whatever, it's like I wouldn't necessarily agree with that, right? That's the saying, right? I wouldn't necessarily always agree with that, but in this case I think this whole 1080p 4K thing is gonna like not be a actual factor. It'd be a big deal in the long run, and this did actually create some
the
attention.
Twitter community, people have to realize the Twitter community and the people who are usually complaining is a loud voice.
Yeah.
But for the majority of like people who just buy games and just play the games, they're usually not on Twitter actively figuring out the resolution or the frame rate for games. They're just buying it. They're like, oh, let me try out this game. Let's try out this game. It can seem that way because they're the people who usually complain or attack devs or whatever. They're a very loud voice on the internet. But at the end of the day, that's a small percentage, and it can seem like that is the worldview because that's everybody on this panel. We're content creators. We are on Twitter. We are making videos, all this different stuff on different podcasts. But that's still like a small community compared to the overall spectrum of people who are just buying consoles, buying games, going to GameStop, like, hey, let me try this. So at the end of it, we'll be positive and be happy. That is my message.
Yes. All right, guys. So we've been talking about Biomutant for a long time. I think we have sold this game to a lot of people, hopefully, because it deserves it. I think it's gonna. Well, we'll see how good the game is when we can actually play it. But I think it deserves this kind of attention as opposed to the other kind of attention, right? So, hey, I gotta have a talk with my man Pong Soul right now. Because
what about
last week I joined you on the hill. Last week I joined you on this hill that you've been willing to die on, and I said I am going to stand on this hill with you, and hey, if it doesn't come true, we will die together. So
I know what you're talking about now, brother.
Yeah,
I'm gasping for air up here. I think we both are. So.
Yeah. So Starfield. Hey, this game is getting so much freaking hype still, though. It's just good to see.
Tom Cruise.
Tom Cruise. Are you excited about that, Matt? Yeah. So it's Mr. Dickbag, Jason Schreier, came out there and posted a tweet and said,
we're positive here, people.
I'm sorry. I take it back. I don't know you, sir. I was just making a joke.
What he writes, and you're correct.
Probably already blocked, so don't worry.
I don't hit it on the head.
You don't know about us minions.
Yeah, so he made a tweet saying that, hey, the game is not as far along as people are saying with all the rumors. People need to curtail their expectations, and that it's and then he went on to say later in another tweet, more like late 2022, right? So I was still hoping for the early 2022, right, to maybe spring. So now I'm thinking, okay, now it's going to be like at the earliest fall.
No,
or holiday.
It's definitely the first quarter of 2022.
I don't
Jeff
know.
Grubb
We'll see. What did Jeff Grubb say?
Puts his life on it.
Well, no, he changed. Jeff Grubb.
No, he did not. He put out a tweet saying he did not change his mind on it.
He didn't? I thought he did
No.
yesterday morning.
He put out a tweet saying, "All of you that said I changed my mind, shut the fuck up."
Oh, that was about the other stuff. He
Yeah,
actually did.
Starfield.
No. Yeah, but
I
the
just
initial
watched it on Dealer's video.
Yeah, I know, but I just watched him this morning on his show. So, basically what he's saying is that he does not have any idea what the date is, that it could be later 2022, but he said don't expect a announcement of a date at all other than just 2022 because he thinks that nothing's set in stone right now at all.
Right.
So that's where he's at with that.
So he was originally possibly 2021 and then said early 2022. And now after Jason Schreier and then Tom Warren chimed in, it seems like he's moving that because he had said even previously that after talking to other people that he thinks are in the know, he was concerned about maybe the early 2022, late 2021 wasn't going to actually happen. So here's one thing. This game is not delayed. Okay, this is not a delay.
Because you can't delay a game that was never
only dates that were ever said was from people like us that are just like guessing and trying to speculate and hoping that it's going to happen sooner than later. Right? This is not a delay, except for an emotional and mind delay for me. Right? Just saying, okay, I gotta wait a little bit longer for God Howard's master plan of Starfield. Right? But as far as actual delay, this is not a delay, guys. So I keep seeing people put out there, hey, again, Xbox delays. Come on,
But Mav, it's like it's not delayed. It's just going to have a year. It's going to be released at a certain point, and if it's 2022, and I'm looking at Xbox, I'm going good. We have Halo, and if this game is in the end of the year, if Halo is to be giant as it should be for the end of the year and the holiday, do you want a game that is presumably supposed to just people speculate that it's supposed to be a giant game? Do you really want it to be competing for that real estate? I don't think so. I think you would want it to breathe on its own, whether it is Q1 of 2022 or the fall. Like,
whenever this game does,
he's like, no.
It doesn't matter how long the game takes.
I want it
he's
now.
going up on the hill assemble, so
I'm still up on the hill assemble, but
he can't come down from it.
But I think in reality, Microsoft wanted it for this year, and I think Microsoft wanted it to. I think they wanted to nuke holiday 2021 with as much stuff as possible that they could possibly have. To make the push. Now, again, if that changed because they're not going to have the consoles in the stores because now they're talking about console shortages until 2022, that might have changed it. Maybe the game wasn't ready. And obviously, Phil is highly sensitive to putting out games like they used to that weren't finished products. They don't want to do that again. They really want to focus on quality. Hence why they delayed Halo for a whole year. He's not going to force something out now that isn't ready. And so it's certainly possible. I just think there was way, way too much smoke. If you go back from people talking about it being done or the plan was for it to release in 2020 and then getting pushed to 2021 because of COVID, to people saying that, obviously that every time when they first had the ZeniMax acquisitions announced, every Microsoft exec that spoke in an interview brought up Starfield, right? It was like every interview was like, oh, Starfield, we're excited about titles like Starfield. I really, truly believe that the plan was for the three-headed monster this year of Forza, Starfield, and Halo. I think Starfield and Halo can coexist at any time and place in the universe because they're two different genres. They attract two different sets of people, some crossover, of course, obviously at the same time. But I just think that it being a Bethesda title, a God Howard brand new baby IP for the first time in 2 decades, it has enough force, as we've seen now, to stand alongside Halo and not be impacted either way. I just really think they wanted that triple-headed monster.
And here's the thing with that
to blow it up.
If I can chime in real quick. Xbox isn't fighting anymore over the same $60, right? So let's say okay, I have $60 to spend, right? now not everybody can go buy Halo and buy Starfield, right? But like that's $120, right? All of a sudden, oh, my money's getting higher and higher. But they're competing for the same $15 a month from everybody. So if you do like explode with like a bunch of stuff at once, then that's going to explode a lot of subscriptions all at once as well, and that would create more momentum potentially. So the whole that's their main goal, is to drive subscriptions for Game Pass over game sales. They'd rather have the Game Pass subscriptions over game sales, right?
And to your point, Mav, is that the people are making decisions right now on where they're going to go. Again, that's kind of slowed down because the consoles aren't available, right? So it's got a little bit of delay there, but people are making decisions on what not everybody's buying into both ecosystems, right? Not everybody can do that. It's expensive, right? But everybody's making that decision. And for Xbox, it's important, and when people go to look at what Xbox is offering, that they see those AAA bangers sitting there waiting for them. And I hate that word. I wasn't supposed to use that word anymore. Those home run bangers. Yeah, I hate that. I even put it on Twitter that I swore I was not going to use that word anymore to Mr. Badbit. Anyways, you have those big first party titles which Microsoft is lacking right now, but you have those lined up. So when people look at your ecosystem and they say, hey, what am I getting in Game Pass? Yeah, it looks fantastic. 400 titles basically out there, but what big ones are out there? Because the average consumer doesn't think like us, who know, the ins and outs of the industry and who look at all these other smaller games. They're just looking for those big titles. And if they could have gone in this holiday season and said, hey, look, you sign up for Game Pass Ultimate, you're going to go ahead and get Halo, you're going to go ahead and get Starfield, and you're going to have Forza Horizon Mexico sitting there waiting for you. That makes the decision pretty easy for people. Right out the gates, because they figure out the math in their head. So it's $15 a month. So let's see, these 3 games would have cost me $180 by itself. No brainer. I'm getting it. Thank you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I think that you're all going to be surprised at E3 at what Xbox is dropping.
Oh, I know. I can't wait. I'm so excited.
Even these insiders that are saying, hey, Starfield is moving off, like from what we originally thought. They're saying like, hey, Xbox has other things that you guys are going to flip out about, and we know we're going to be there at E3. One of them could be that Project Omen game that's being alluded to, made by Arcane. There's also rumors about the Forza Horizon Mexico, which is like almost seems like concrete. Right,
Crossfire
that's like
X, Scorn.
Crossfire
Hey
X,
guys,
Scorn.
can I just point out, Assassin Lupa kind of had like a little 3-bit smile there when she was talking. She knows more than she's letting on to.
Yes.
No, for me, I
think
know
she does.
nothing. But I will tell you this console, not being able to buy console, is a load of crap. I decided yesterday, I think I'll buy a Series S. Bought one just like that and had it delivered in an hour.
Nice.
Oh, nice.
I'm going to read
Congratulations.
something from Skullsy, and maybe this will
I needed a
clarify some
Series S
things.
for the
Yeah,
bedroom.
Skullsy's been the one that, by the way, that you guys that may not know, has been like kind of had a lot of the leaked information from whoever's
For
been
years.
Yeah,
For years, he's been leaking.
Yeah, he's been out there
Starfield
for a long time.
Yep. He's one of the first people I could think of that first leaked those Starfield images like years ago.
Yep.
For those who don't know. So Skullsy said like 12 hours ago, why I feel Starfield is further along than nowhere near ready. Several devs and artists all left Bethesda at once on good terms. Microsoft purchased advertisement time for Starfield in 2021. I've been told that several BGS hired several contract-based QA testers for Starfield, which means it's like one of the last processes of game development, but it can kind of go, I don't know, it can be in the beginning too. Then he says, the reason why you're probably getting confusion regarding insider Starfield information comes down to this. Microsoft insiders are claiming one thing, actual Bethesda insiders are claiming another. So the Microsoft side of things may not have all the info, so that is why we are seeing varying statements. So that's what he said, which I think is makes sense of why Schreier may be getting different information from someone else.
Exactly.
Because a Microsoft employee and someone actually inside of Bethesda might be saying conflicting things. Microsoft is technically ahead of Bethesda, so you're like, which one do I believe in? But that everything he said makes sense, because this game was supposed to be released 2020, right?
That's true.
2020. A lot of things was affected that year. A lot of developers had to work from home, do mocap from home. Indie developers weren't as affected because indie studios primarily work from home.
Maybe
and a lot of
Tom
their-
Cruise's schedule is just too full. Maybe that caused a
maybe
delay.
so.
like we got to put
Um,
Tom Cruise in this game.
Yeah, he's out
Um,
here floating in space. Tom
Did-
Cruise, right there.
Did you
He's
hear
out
that,
here
babe?
in
That
space
Tom
floating.
Cruise is potentially going to be in this Starfield game. Does that get
I
you
don't know.
excited?
I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know if it's real now, but
I think
Does
it's. I
anybody
think just
care?
to throw people
No.
off. I think it's just news.
They
to
just
throw
show
people
Tom Cruise.
I
Yeah.
don't care how long they take with
Yep.
any dev, with any game, as long as it's good when it's released.
Correct.
And none of these bloody
Yeah.
bugs and
At
day
the end
one
of the day,
patches. I'll
Assassin,
be
you are
happy,
absolutely
happy,
correct.
happy.
Yeah.
You are
Oh, yeah.
absolutely correct, Lupa. 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was too much smoke, like Pong was saying, for it not to be talked about. And, that's why a lot of people were thinking, 2021. I mean, E3 is still coming. We don't know exactly what they're going to announce. They could have just said all this stuff that could be 2022 just to throw everyone off to be like, okay, it's getting delayed or, and everything like that. So, when E3 comes, we'll know 100% what's happening. And if they do decide to push it to 2022, it could be possibly waiting on consoles to then push those consoles, because this game would help push getting someone getting a Series X or an Xbox Series S. So,
If we
we
get
just
it,
we
right?
just need to be patient because it's just right now there's just so much out there, and we just got to focus on okay, what do we know that's coming out. Some things that have been leaked are legitimate, so we just got to wait for Bethesda to come out and say, all right guys,
Yeah.
this is the truth, here it is, boom.
Yeah.
Are they
You know
gonna
what
I don't believe
Bethesda
it.
are like?
It's-
They always show you like nothing, and then bang, they pop it, and the next day it's released or something, or the same week.
that's
whatever.
how
Well,
that's how
that's
Todd
how-
Howard
yeah.
likes to do it.
Mm,
Todd
Yeah,
Howard
so-
likes to show something that when closer when it releases.
yeah.
So I have a
Yeah.
video on the channel, like I did, where I went through and broke down a lot of like Todd Howard's
Awesome
like,
video. Go watch it.
comments in the past, because
Yeah, great
there's
video.
like rumors upon rumors upon rumors, and there's rumors based on rumors and rumors about other rumors, and
yeah.
and sometimes the facts get lost, and a lot of the insiders have different information that conflict with each other. Who do you trust, a YouTuber? Who do you trust, Jason Schreier? I never trust Jason Schreier for one thing, but besides that, I do think he has credible knowledge with knowing
He's usually
people,
never wrong.
right? He's usually not wrong. So I don't know regardless of what I feel about the guy. And then also you have people like Skolzy, who has been right with a lot of stuff and has actually given real information that we have all seen. And so we know he's getting that from somewhere. The truth is nobody knows except for Microsoft's high ups and potentially Bethesda high ups, and nobody knows more than one person himself, and that is Todd Howard, because this is his baby.
God,
Starfield is his
Praise his name. Amen.
Starfield is his star child. Okay, if you go watch the video, I break down the comments that he's made in the past in his interviews. Okay, we know a couple things. This game hasn't been in development since early 2016, possibly even late 2015 after the launch of Fallout 4. We know also Starfield is going to be at E3. If we know that from everybody that has been an insider, has been saying that same thing. That has not changed whatsoever. We also know that Starfield was in a playable state in 2018. Okay? So 2018 was a long time ago. In 2018, he had already said that this game has been in development for a while. Before 2016, this game was already in pre-production, and they've been kicking around the ideas. He had just been waiting for the opportunity to finally make this dream game of his, okay? Which they started, and they knew ahead of time it was going to be their next game after Fallout 4. Okay, so after Fallout 4, they started working on Starfield, and that's the main Bethesda team. It's not like It's their
Austin.
core guys. It's the Skyrim guys. It's like the Morrowind guys. It's the Oblivion guys. It's the Skyrim guys. It's the Fallout 3 guys. It's the Fallout 4 guys. Right? Now,
Lot of
they
guys.
did have to pull a lot of dev support in to finish out Fallout 76, right? But that doesn't mean that the whole team, all of Bethesda, was only working on Fallout 76, right? Because if you go into this 2019 interview, in which he talks to Ryan McCaffrey in an episode of Unfiltered, he even says there's multiple studios working on Starfield at that time, okay? So we know all of these things are true because they come from the man himself, the person that actually has this. Then he goes on to say he wants as little time as humanly possible that anyone will allow him before he shows the goods and the game comes out. That's what he wants. Okay.
Those are all facts.
Yep.
Todd Howard usually gets
Amen.
what he wants.
Hallelujah.
Okay? So
Hallelujah.
now, if they show, that's why there are one of two things here. If we have a blowout of Starfield at E3, it's coming out this holiday. I don't think it's going to happen according to what everybody's seeing. We're going to get like a 2022 date. So I think we're going to get a 2022 date. And then I think potentially later this year, either at the Game Awards or depending on where the game is, at some point we're going to get a deep dive presentation over Starfield. And then within a few months of that, the game will drop. Because
And I
that's
think,
what
Matt,
Todd Howard
that's-
wants.
That's where it's, if they give themselves that 2022 blanket, it could be like what you guys are saying, where it's, we kind of take that when we hear 2020 the next year that it's fall. But typically we default for games to typically be later in the year when we get that just generalized. But I think that if they could pull it off where they say it's 2022 and Mav, like you're saying, we show something at the end of the year or E3 towards the end of the year, and then you're looking at early 2022, like January, February or something, and it just comes out and they do it where they're like, yeah, it's out in a month. And everyone loses their minds because they're like, all we saw was this one gameplay trailer and you're telling us it's ready to go. And they're like, yep. And they don't have to, it pulls the wool off everyone, right?
Yeah, and they love doing that. So that's possible. I think a lot of you guys have good points. The one thing that may be throwing off the date, we all know, is COVID 2020, right? And two things that are probably have thrown off the development of this game. It's COVID, which has affected so many studios. Like I was saying, with indie studios, wasn't as affected because of the fact that a lot of their development pipelines are online anyways. Like the developers of Hades, you guys should look up some of their dev logs and how they managed to work on games through COVID.
And ladders.
So ladder, okay, yeah, and ladders. I don't even know who the heck ladders is, but I was like, okay. Sure.
No, they're gonna actually have working ladders supposedly. That was was one of the big things.
I was like, yeah, sure.
Bethesda's never had working ladders in a game.
Oh,
so
freaking funny. Yeah, so COVID was probably a thing, right? The second thing that probably affected the development is they were updating the creation engine. So from Fallout 4 till now, they were heavily in development of updating that engine, which is much needed in my opinion. It's the one studio. I guess Bethesda mostly works on the creation engine, but I know like Arcane and stuff, they work on Unreal and some other, and then you have like ID Tech, works on ID games. But yeah, those are probably the two things that delayed the game and that is probably pushing it to that 2022 date, the COVID and also the engine changing. Like, yes, they worked on the game very early on, as Mav was stating. But majority of the time, same thing with Halo, right? You think about Halo's development, what took the most time out of the development process? It was the engine. So it's the same thing here with the creation.
Yeah, we know they're also making big upgrades with the engine with this, and then also with Elder Scrolls, which will also be exclusive on Xbox.
Yeah, and that hurts my soul a little bit because I wanted to play this game this year, but that's fine. It's not delayed. 2022 is the thing. Hey, it's delayed.
Surprise, surprise, bitches.
We are complete.
It's early.
Hey, lady.
Hey.
Hello.
Welcome to the
Talking about
show.
Starfield.
Lady, good
Hey,
to see you.
we're complete. Hey, lady, this is Matt.
Nice to meet you.
Hey, Matt.
He's
Nice
over
to
here.
meet you.
This is our lady.
Fancy. Yes, I'm so full right now.
That's good. I'm glad you hopped
I'm in like a carb coma.
Oh, that's the best kind. I love carbs.
Right? You should go look at my Twitter. It's fucking ridiculous.
You were gonna say something, baby.
I was gonna read a super chat.
Oh, okay.
The Asante with the $5 super chat. Thank you so much. He said, "You all think they're pulling a perfect dark? They say temper your expectations only to hit you with the Halo Infinite and Starfield 2021."
That's why I'm still dying on this hill,
Yeah.
KSI.
Let's go. Let's go with
I'm
Matt.
up here.
You want to answer that question, Matt? Do you think they're trying to pull one over us by like leaking false information to insiders like Jason Schreier and Tom Warren? Potentially, who knows? I'm not saying that's possible, but what do you think?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
For sure. I don't know. I mean, it's just rumor mill at this point, right? And like you guys said, it's rumors upon it's layers and layers and layers. I'm excited to see what they will show, if anything, at E3. And even if they gave you some dope music and a splash screen and a little like just quick cut, it's 15 seconds, people will lose their minds.
Yep.
And whether it says 21 or it's 22, people are still going to leave there being super excited that it is coming and that it is going to hit
I'll
their
be
roadmap
crying
and they'll hit their
if it's
marks. And
2022.
people,
You know what? If they do a 2020 like a 2022 release date, that would be like 2/22/22. That'd be a kind of a cool
There you go.
release date if they do.
and Tom Cruise.
No, Tom
Tom Cruise
Cruise.
is gonna
He
show
just
up on
does the
stage.
narrative. All he has to do is just do the trailer. He voices it over.
What if they're shooting a Starfield movie at the same time with Cruise?
Oh my god.
Oh, fuck you, Pong.
Surprise
Now you
duel.
put that in my brain, dude. How could you dare possibly put that in my mind?
All right.
Like,
Well, here's
oh my
the
gosh,
Fantastic Six.
man. Hey, lady, did you have anything to chime? Oh, were we gonna say something?
You guys are
baby?
talking about Starfield, I'm assuming. Kind of.
Now we
Yeah,
are.
You
Yeah,
guys are on.
we had been talking about Biomutant for an hour.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Glad I missed that one. No. I don't have much to add. I mean, I'm sure you guys are. I'm more reserved about it all. So I'm just kind of sitting back and waiting for information. I don't.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like I'm not excited for, the game and what it could be. But I'm not hyping it. I'm not overhyping anything. I've overhyped way too many games in my time to where I'll take my time with this one and see what it is first, see where it's going. But
Reserving your comments.
yeah, I'm not. Yeah, it's just
Not
where I
trying to
am.
be
Lady is
disappointed.
super pumped for Starfield, guys. She
Yeah,
DM'd me
so
and told me
She is
that
gleaming.
she
Can't you
said-
see? She's gleaming.
she said she's gonna play it cool on the
Always lame.
podcast, because like that's just who she is. But like she's actually like can't wait for this shit. So
I can't wait. I have like posters. I've like drawn posters of doors.
See those the
Starfield
moons,
doors. Yeah.
the moons in their background. That's Starfield.
I thought the
Yeah,
walls were
exactly.
more impressive than the doors.
Oh yeah.
the sticker
That's
assets.
a great looking corridor.
No, I mean, I'm not gonna jump on the whole like, oh my god, is it coming now? Is it not? It's whatever to me. When I hear news about it, then I'll get excited. That's where I am.
I'm excited. I'm ready to be disappointed.
And I'm ready to die on my hill with Mav.
Yeah, so we'll be holding hands.
Picture like a flag inside of you guys.
Holding
Like, it was
hands.
worth it.
Yeah.
As we take our last gasp of air.
We got a super chat from KY Bob. I think we are all forgetting the most obvious E3 drop. What is that Microsoft?
Yeah,
Simulator.
Microsoft Flight
Microsoft
Simulator.
Flight
2020.
Simulator.
What is that? Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020 on series consoles. I'm never getting out of the plane, going to fly everywhere. Yeah, I forgot.
That's gonna be huge.
And thanks for the super
Yeah.
chat again, Bob.
When does that come out?
They haven't told us exactly yet.
Supposed to be
Yeah.
this summer,
Summer.
is what they said, I think, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
I think it was
So
late
probably
summer.
Shadow drop after E3. More.
How
Somewhere in that
about-
Also,
neighborhood.
supposedly Among Us was supposed to come to Xbox. Like,
What's that?
Yeah, like about
Yeah.
2 years ago.
It's
well,
coming. It's
those
coming.
games, we're just going to
Grandpa.
temper our expectations with those games, all right?
Get off my lawn.
Um, I wonder if like Among Us is at 1080p 60 on PS5. and 4K 60
God.
on Xbox.
Oh God.
If they're
Yeah.
gonna write to
Don't
the
do this,
Among
man.
Us. No, I'm just
Don't do
kidding.
this.
I'm just kidding. I'm sorry. All right, guys. Man, what was I gonna talk about? Holy shit.
The game I was playing for 4 hours today.
Yes, Knockout City. That's what was next. No, there was something else. I can't remember. It'll come back to me.
Rift
Thank you, by the way,
going
again,
to Game
KY.
Pass.
What was that, Lupa?
Rift Breaker going to Game Pass.
Well, that's one. Here we go.
Knockout City.
Yeah, this was where I was gonna go. You in a roundabout way circled my mind to it because we've been alluding to this.
We're
okay?
circling minds now.
We're
guys.
circling minds. All right, guys. So
Fancy.
even if like Starfield's probably not happening this year, right? Now we're still gonna hold out the hope, but it's probably not happening. So the year ahead is looking still very good for Xbox, right? So we have Psychonauts 2 could get a drop at E3 or right after. Did they say a date yet for that?
No, but
Just coming soon.
Flight Sim. Then you got Rift Breaker, which is a game. Actually, if you guys go check out Wandering Dutch's channel over a midweek mix-up, he had a showcase, an indie game showcase, and that's one of my most anticipated indie games I was looking forward to. And that was announced today. It's coming to Game Pass day one, and that's this fall. So that's going to be in there as well, which was a nice surprise for me. And then we also have Forza Mexico potentially happening. We got Halo Infinite and lots of other stuff. There's lots of things.
Scorn, Crossfire X, Ascent. It's a couple.
It looks like this holiday season and the rest for the rest of this year, we're not gonna have no shortage of things to play, including Knockout City, which just hit Game Pass, and some of us, including my wife, has been extremely excited to play that. Babe,
what was that?
Knockout City.
Oh yeah.
This is a dodgeball game. So what made you excited to play Knockout City?
It just looks. Are you talking to me?
Yeah.
It just looks really fun. I love like just games where you can F around and mess with your friends and stuff. I guess. I don't know.
She just wants to throw balls at
You're
us.
messing with me.
She
Oh,
just
balls.
you
wants
just want to
Balls
belt
at all
us.
of you.
Exactly.
Colorful
She
to
balls.
us up with the balls.
just hit you in the face and knock you off building tops. That's what she wants to do. She wants to kill.
Yeah. I just
She
want
wants
to
to like
murder
be
you
a
all.
ninja in that game too. Like she is in all the other
Yes.
fucking PvP games.
She just
I
wants
know, right?
She just wants retaliation for all the balls that get thrown in her face. All right, Matt, are you looking forward to Knockout City?
No, she's always chucking stickies in my face.
Hey, we have a super chat real quick from La Hellboy, $4.99. He said
Geralt.
Geralt
Yeah,
Girl.
that's the Witcher.
Geralt
Yeah.
versus Superman. Who wins?
Girl.
Hey, that's a great
Oh,
question,
whatever.
Hellboy. Hey, Matt is actually an expert in comics. So even though The Witcher is not a comic, it's a book, and also Superman is definitely in the comic world. We'll let him
Superman's
answer
in the
this.
comics.
Yeah, Superman's in the comics world. So
I feel like it's a very obvious answer. to
I
be
think it
honest,
is.
but-
I think it is as well, the Hellboy. It's a great question. But what do you think, Matt? Are you gonna surprise us with this one?
Superman.
Superman.
It's always
Absolutely.
Superman. But they make
Yeah.
him too powerful. You need to ground him a little bit more.
Yeah.
No. Pong's
What
like,
if The
That's what
Witcher
Kryptonite's
has
for, man.
kryptonite?
I know. They got the kryptonite.
You know, he
Kryptonite.
does use like the potions and the oils. What if he had a kryptonite
Well-
oil on his sword?
He,
Like
I
just
mean,
dripping.
that's a good.
He is weak against magic, though.
Like throwing some fucking potions and shit his
Just
way.
throw 'em.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just throw them.
It's
But don't
here's the thing: The Witcher wouldn't even get close enough to Superman. Like,
Right in on a
Superman would just
griffin. Just
fucking, like,
toss shit at him.
Grabs a griffin.
Yes.
Just slams him down.
Right. No. No. I
Don't
still
get him
think
around the
Superman
red
would
sun,
be
though.
winning. You
Yeah.
better reset your net. 3-bit.
Oh yeah, this better not start this chain that happened on Fun Pop, because it was like
Oh
about
my
the same
God.
No,
same time.
we're not doing
It
that
was-
today.
Yesterday,
Talk about it.
guys, if you go watch Fun
Not
Pop
happening.
yesterday, we had this happened. 3-bit crashed. He came back in, and then all of a sudden, Psychonauts is gone. Psychonauts comes back in, then 3-bit's gone, and then 3-bit comes in, then Psychonauts is gone. It's just like
It was
back and
awesome.
forth,
We're
back
like
and forth.
crashing each other's internet.
It's on
And-
a seesaw.
I know.
And it
And we're
happened
like-
an hour and a half in,
No, me.
roughly to
No,
the
no,
show.
no, you. No, me. To you, to me, to me.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Yeah.
Mav was like, hurry up and finish your thought.
Yeah.
It's coming back.
And I was on the screen by myself for a
Yeah.
second. I was like, "Hey,
Three
this
bits
is
coming back.
interesting."
Hurry up.
But Knockout City, guys, it's like a multiplayer competition game. It's in Game Pass day one, so a lot of people are gonna get to play it. It's if you have Game Pass Ultimate, that is, because I think this is one of the EA Play titles that's in EA Play day one, right? So it's if you have Game Pass Ultimate, which I saw a poll actually somebody posted. I don't remember who it was, but they said like, okay, if you have Game Pass, which one do you have? And it was like 85%. Had Game Pass Ultimate, which was crazy.
Yeah.
It's
Makes
Psychonauts
sense.
really? Is
Ultimate.
it making you? Is it kicking you out? Yeah, he's waving by, but he's here.
It says your network bandwidth is low.
It's doing that thing again. Uh-oh.
No, it's going.
I think
gonna
it's the
happen.
East Coast thing, guys.
I'm sorry, guys.
Bye, Psycho.
We'll miss you.
We'll see you.
Psycho.
We'll see you again.
Hey, I'm here now.
Yeah. And it's maybe it happened because you got here, lady. Like it's just
Right?
like it just
Fuck
can't handle
everything
too much awesomeness.
Can't have too much awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
Awesomeness all in one go.
Everything is awesome.
anybody else here excited for Knockout City? You're gonna play
I
it
was
today?
excited
Yeah.
for it.
Yeah,
I'm excited
definitely.
for it.
I played it. I played
I'll
it
play it with you
for 4
guys.
hours today.
Well, you're leaving, so no one cares.
I think I'm a little excited.
Get the fuck out of here already. Jeez.
Aw.
Oh my light.
I'm not gonna play Knockout City with you with your unstable
Whatever,
internet
guys.
connection. You're gonna get me killed.
Is
What?
it free? Is it
No,
in Game
because we're
Pass?
fine in
Oh,
party
Yes, it
chat.
is,
That's-
Lupa.
I will download it, baby. I'm right there with you.
How? Oh, there he goes.
Oh,
Yeah. Nope. He's back. He's back. Um,
psycho.
He's like a ghost, and he just hanging over us.
Um,
there he goes. No, he's
how
back.
how was it though? Like you're the only one of us that's got to play it so far, I think, unless somebody else has. that I
Oh,
don't know about.
it's fun. It's a lot of fun. It's 3v3, and you can like do like trick moves, and you can like try to knock people off, and your teammates can be up the dodge ball, and you can, if you charge it up, you can do like an overcharge move, and they're like it's a lot of fun. It's
Oh.
It's
Oh.
dodgeball.
it's
It's
a
dodgeball.
lot of fun.
Dodgeball.
Yeah, it's
Dodgeball.
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 And he's
with
I think
got
he
nothing.
finishes that though. So
Yeah. Great thoughts, Psychonauts. Appreciate that, dude. I'm talking to a
Such an
statue.
insight.
Yeah, that's such an insight. All right, so what else did we have? Oh yeah, I wanted to ask you guys, do y'all have any theories on what that Omen game is? Because this is a pretty strong rumor right now that there's going to be that Arcane game. We alluded to it earlier a little bit, but it's a surprise at E3. There's going to be this Arcane game announced supposedly, and the code name is Omen. Have you heard this, Matt? Or I
no,
mean,
I haven't either.
Pong's shaking his head. Yes. So
Pong's got this.
Pong knows everything.
Pong
He
knows
though.
all.
knows everything.
Pong
He's-
probably knows what I had for breakfast.
Look, I
White-
talked
White
about it on
Claw.
Boom
If he
Show
didn't, he'd have a
on
damn good
Tuesday.
guest lady.
That means you guys weren't listening, by the way. If you didn't hear me talk about this on Boom Show.
Yeah, I did.
I was not at Boom Show. I must say.
I did hear it
I
on the
was not
playback.
there.
Did you hear it on the playback, Lupa?
Yeah, I did.
No, I just had a
I know,
theory.
I know. I'm
I
just
just had
bringing it
a
up for
theory about
Zane.
it as far as what it could be.
Legacy of Kain.
Because anytime you say that it's Omen and a vampire, obviously the first part, the first thing that I think of being an older gamer is Blood Omen, Legacy of Kain, right? So that IP has been seriously sitting there collecting dust for far too long. It's one of those that should have been resurrected a long time ago, and Square Enix has been sitting on it. So what my thought was that either, again, we don't know, but it clicked when those two things came together. So this is kind of a personal wish list kind of thing on top of them using the term omen. Is either somebody there is extremely loves the old Legacy of Kain, Blood Omen, and came up with this, and they're going to do kind of a spiritual successor to that. Or Psychonauts actually during Boom Show was in the chat, and he actually brought up the fact that there was that rumor that Square Enix is working with one of Microsoft's studios and making a game on an IP. And if that's the case, then obviously it could be possible. And that would be a dream come true.
What game?
That was my first. That was my first thought of where this might go. Because again, we don't know anything yet. It's way too early. So there's just, it is what it is. But
so does Square Enix, what do they have to do with? They own the.
They
IP?
own the IP.
Okay.
They still own the IP after all this time. So
Right.
it's their IP. So,
But it could be that it's the kid with the 666 on the back of his ear.
it could be that,
I'm-
but you
I'm
are
guessing,
correct. Yes, it could be that.
I'm guessing Psycho about to take turns.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he just got. Well, he got kicked before
gotta
you got
share the
back. So
internet.
I think it's maybe y'all are
Can't
on
have
the
your own
same
Are, are
pipeline.
you
I
guys actually
swear.
neighbors and you share internet?
You
Is that
split
what's
net.
going on?
He lives in my basement. Yeah.
Next to
I don't know.
the
Lives in your
That's so
basement.
crazy. It's been happening. I wonder when does Fun Pop? It's like 10 o'clock, 10:30,
Yeah.
right?
Mhm.
That's when we got kicked out.
Hmm.
I don't convenience. I don't know. I don't know what's
The
happening.
same thing was
why.
happening like a night or two before Fun Pop. Remember when we were
in the party chat.
trying to play a game or
Playing-
something?
We were trying to play Dead Island,
Yeah.
and I kept getting kicked out, and then he was
Aliens.
kicked out.
I think both of your
Yeah.
like they work on the internet at like 10:30 at night in both of your areas and you drop out.
It's so crazy. It's like just me and Psycho. We just drop out at the same time. I don't know. It's so weird. Anyways, what are we
We've got
talking about?
this weird connection.
We were talking about that Omen rumor. If anybody had any theories on what it was, and Pong Soul said Legacy of Kain. And then the Lupa is like it could be a boy with 666 on the back of his head.
I think it's going to be some kind of like nun thing.
Like psychological
thing?
drama.
You think it's
Like a creepy nun.
Yeah.
I don't
It's
know.
gonna
was
be-
thinking
it's definitely
ninjas.
going to be dark and deep.
Just more
and-
ninjas.
Thinking witchy.
Ninjas and
Yeah.
vampires. Let's do it.
It's something dark for sure.
It's definitely something dark and it could be sort of like I don't know,
Want to
like
be rainbows and
7
sunshine.
or something.
Yeah, I was thinking the same
Yeah.
thing. It's complete opposite.
Yeah, what is it going to be, Matt? Give us a
Unicorns.
prediction here. What is Omen?
I'm going with Lady's prediction too. I was like, it's going to be a complete 180, and it'll be some
Right?
kid-friendly,
Oh my
overly
goodness.
cartoonish, but
Like
devil
fucking
bear or
cats,
some
yeah.
crap.
Their competition against like a Nintendo game.
It's the name. It's the name of a dog. Just Omen, the
Yeah,
puppy.
just Omen. It's like, why are you being weird about it? You go all dark places. You're weird. We had no intentions of this.
Get your mind out the gutter.
Yeah, that's right.
It's funny.
So when like we look at Arcane, right? Arcane has so far worked on very similar style games, right? Like with Dishonored, and now they're making the stealth game with Deathloop. And you got abilities in both of those franchises, right? What was the other game that they work on another franchise too, didn't they? Or am I thinking of the wrong?
Oh yeah, I was about to say Wolfenstein, but that's Machine
No.
Games.
I could have swore they had
Yeah.
one more, but maybe they don't. But so they're those
Prey.
games.
Did they do Prey?
Yes. Again,
There you go.
Prey is like it kind of all those games kind of like, or in a way, kind of look in it vaguely like similar. And I mean, don't look exactly the same, but like they kind of feel the same too when you play and stuff. Like, so whatever this is, I would imagine would be kind of like a first-person game that would probably be something where you have abilities and stuff, and you know, maybe it's like in some kind of a vampire world or something. Like maybe it's a complete twist on that, or like
Well, here's some
supernatural,
This
interesting
is such
thing.
fun speculation.
It
I love
is.
it.
Is that I
Speculation.
feel like when I think
That's
of
what the show's
Omen,
called.
I think of like evil,
Yeah.
but
I
in,
don't.
like Omen means good or bad. So
Yeah,
who knows?
That's true. It could be a good omen.
could be a good omen.
Mhm.
So it could be about a
If you watch-
leprechaun.
If you watch
But let's face it,
Omens,
it's gonna be
Rainbows.
it's
the
gonna be
TV
spooky.
series is always good and bad. Did nobody
Another
watch
one.
Omens?
I'm a little violent. Okay.
How many others are in there though?
That's what I heard.
Don't judge me.
Judging.
Well, we-
Good
we-
Just
point, Matt.
observation.
Good point.
we,
It sounded like a pile.
we know what
Sound
she
like
had
a
for
Pile,
breakfast.
It's a pile. It's a thing.
And again, shout out to everybody in the chat. Thank you for hanging out. We've had around 50 people here hanging out for a while now. You guys are awesome. Hey, drop a like, share out to your friends and family and people that you watch podcasts with. We greatly appreciate it. All the support from all of you. You rock. Thank you so
And
much.
grandma.
Yeah. So honestly though, thank you guys for watching. All right, so then we had I think one more thing we wanted to get to, and I'm trying to remember what that was again.
WB.
WB.
Yeah,
WB.
yeah, that's what it was. You guys are on top of
This
it more than
fucking
me.
shit.
Yeah, well, hold on.
Again.
I'm gonna go.
No.
Lady's so happy she showed up.
It's
I
done
know.
like
Hold on.
3
Hold
times
on,
this
lady.
week already.
I know what you're thinking.
All you
right
hear
now.
is fuck.
Right.
Uh,
Yeah.
fuck it.
But we like spent a long time doing a separate thing on purpose. Oh, now everybody's fucking frozen. On purpose for this. If you guys can hear me, I don't know. And that was that. Hey guys, hold on. I'm gonna wait till everybody comes back unfrozen because this is fucking tripping me out looking at all these screens. Hi everybody in the chat. Shout out to all you guys again. I'm gonna go through and say all your names because I know I'm buffering right now. What's up, Hellboy, Nico, CMBR, Ray? How's it going again, dude? Shizno, Rome 216. Everybody hanging out. Hey, there goes my Zoom. Is people there? Hello? Uh-oh. Bear with me, guys. I don't know if you can hear me right now. Trying to see if this is coming back. Okay, guys, let's see here.
In the chat.
Can y'all fucking hear me?
And
Right?
said,
Oh my gosh.
what's happening? I don't see anybody.
I was like, that was crazy. I don't even. Is the stream even going on right now? I
No,
can't even.
Yeah, well,
they
the
were
chat's still
saying that
going.
they
They say
could
can
hear
hear
us.
us.
The
They say we
chat's
can hear.
still
Yeah,
going, but you
Yes.
can't
Yeah,
hear
it's
us.
still
Yeah.
going.
yeah. There we go. I can
What
see
the
us again.
hell was
I
that?
just refreshed and I can see us all again now.
Oh no,
Jeez.
Psycho, get out of here.
Yeah.
Did you try unplugging it and then plugging
Yeah,
it back in
CMBR.
again?
Yeah.
Oh, just like my whole internet just like disappeared. But the crazy thing is the stream stayed stable. Like the entire time, like as far as the OBS, like the kilobytes per
Yeah,
second.
but not on YouTube.
Yeah, I know. I could see that. It's like it was very awkward.
Hey, chat, we're back.
Am I okay? I got to reopen like the chat and stuff. Hold on, guys.
Yeah.
I
No,
was
it's still
sitting there
going
trying
live.
to-
They could hear
It's
us.
still, they can still hear us, and they're still
Yeah.
going.
Have your live,
Good
improvise.
Guys, you're awesome chat.
All right, guys, I'm the
That's
new
not it. No.
host. I'm the new host. We're gonna talk about Nintendo.
Hey, this is what happens to Mav when
Nintendo.
everything goes south. Now he's nervous.
This is what
He is
happens
shutting
when he
down.
mentions
Spaghetti.
WB,
Oh,
and now
he's
he's
shutting
going to turn
down
to
now.
his sweet tarts.
Oh,
my
animal
gosh.
crackers, cardboard. Here it
Oh
goes.
man.
Just staring at the camera.
All right,
Eating
everyone,
his emotion.
Camera like this.
put your
He's
animal
eating his-
crackers in the chat.
Get them sweet tarts down, man. It'll calm your nerves.
It'll be
Uh,
Oh,
okay.
gosh.
It's all going to be good, Mav. Don't worry. Let's carry on speculating. But don't mention them two alphabetical
Just sit
letters
quietly in the
again.
corner. Just back
What did
further
I
away
miss?
from the camera and go away to the corner and just sit there.
What happened?
Right? Like a fucking troll. Like
Yeah.
a little goblin
Just
in the
go
corner.
troll in the
with
corner.
animal crackers.
I feel like I just woke up from a nightmare, guys.
Bit
So,
you're
Mav,
hosting.
what did I miss?
I don't fucking know.
Sorry, what did you say?
Oh,
You were like talk about WB.
Hey,
Yeah, I'm
You
only here
decided
for
to
a
unplug
limited
the
amount of
router.
time.
Oh,
All right.
WB.
Psycho, look at Assemble's Twitter and you'll see what
Don't
happened.
say
What
Yeah,
you
that
that's
missed.
again.
exactly what happened to you.
Yeah, Matt, look at the screenshot
But I want the
we
new.
grabbed
Now
of
I want the
you.
better one of you.
The way you
snacking
froze was
your-
so perfect.
Yeah, it was
It's
brilliant.
gonna
Was
be
it in
memes.
DMs?
It's gonna be memes for days.
All right, so, all right, ladies. So you're like, oh, this shit again, WB, right?
That's as far as we got. And then,
Yeah. Me
And
saying, oh shit.
sorry, I got a
Before I
mouthful of
get
animal
kicked out.
crackers right now.
Yeah, look at you.
We got a $5 super chat from Boogeyman. What's up, Boogie? Shout out to the chat. Nobody left during the technical difficulty. You guys rock.
I think we
100%.
got
left.
more
Because we were
people
still
joined.
entertaining them with the background. We were
Yeah.
behind the
With your
scenes.
frozen gob.
Hey, seriously, guys, thank you so much for sticking around through that, because I didn't even know if like the stream was still going on. OBS said it was, but I didn't see anything, so it was really weird. Thank you for hanging out and bearing with that, guys, and thanks Boogie for the super chat also as well, man. All right, guys, so a lady WB. I'm not gonna go like we had a show that I did with 3-Bit and Psycho a stream one night, which turned out to be amazing because CMBR Ray actually hopped onto that, and we had a long talk about all this stuff, and I actually learned a lot just from that discussion with him, and we had a lot of fun doing that stream. So that's on
So
the
if you
channel.
want to see anything about WB, just go to that video.
Except for one
Pops
thing.
out of nowhere.
Tacos.
Mav, jeez.
Was
She is
that?
a ninja? She just drops in there.
No,
Right?
she is. Yeah. We. What I want to go with this specifically is NetherRealm, because some reports came out today or yesterday that they were potentially all of the major players of the gaming division is going to go along to the new company, right? This new Discovery / Warner company, which would be a good thing if they retain the actual studios, right? Which is what people don't know, right? That's what we're afraid of. That's what people fear. And that's what we learned about and got educated on some of how some of this stuff works the other day when we did that stream. So as far as NetherRealm, I want to basically plead to Warner Discovery to not break up that legendary, iconic studio and shutter them. Because we don't know where the future lies with a lot of those studios right now. And I can't imagine anybody else making Mortal Kombat. So please be like responsible with it and make Mortal Kombat with NetherRealm in the future, and don't just use it as a licensed IP and try and make money off of it and have other people make that game. So that's where I'm going with that. It's just a
It was
plea.
so serious and heartfelt.
It
Almost
felt
brought
it.
a tear to my eye.
I just really don't like it. It's a possibility right now that scares me after that conversation we had the other day. And especially when we learned that the whole gaming division is going along to this new company, and then what we learned about the debt and all this stuff and how that some of that stuff works, and they're going to have to cut some of that cost and stuff and here and there. So, could anybody else make Mortal Kombat games, guys, besides NetherRealm?
There's not a lot of fighting game developers out there. Maybe like the people who make Blaze Blue, who makes Arc. Was it Arc System Works?
Yeah.
If anyone, like they do focus more on like 2D games, but if anyone, that probably them, because they're really good at balancing. They did that Dragon Ball Z game, right? Too. The shoot, nobody knows what I'm talking about. It's a Dragon Ball Z game, and they did a pretty good job at like figuring out the style of the game.
The
and,
fighting,
like,
the Dragon Ball Z
Dragon
fighting
Ball
one?
Fighter
Yes,
Z.
yeah.
Dragon Ball
Oh, yeah,
Fighter
yeah,
Z.
yeah.
I
I
have
know
it,
what
bro.
it is.
Yeah, it's great.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah. Whoever does that, I believe it's Arc System Works. If anybody needs to do that, probably them. I'm guessing.
Cool.
Cool.
Matt, do you think anybody? Do you think Matt?
I'm just like,
Do you think anybody else could make a Mortal Kombat game?
No. The
Okay.
answer. No, it's just
No.
they've been doing it forever. And if you were to make any sudden shift like that, I mean, the development on it would be crazy. I don't think they would even want to do that. I don't think it's even a good investment to try to break that up. If your intention is to keep the franchise, to keep that game going. Yeah, I just think that if you did something like that, I'm like, well, then you're gonna have to restart everything. It's not going to be the same. People are going to crap all over it for being different. Just to begin with.
Yeah.
Even if it was good, people would still have a hard time with it.
It would be like legit. They would just be, oh, somebody else fucking did this.
Yeah.
We don't like it.
Yeah,
That
we
had
don't
to
like it
happen with-
without even trying
Right,
it. So they'll
grab your
prejudge it.
pitchforks. Grab
Yeah.
your pitchforks.
So I think it'd be an
Going after
uphill
'em.
battle if they did anything
Yeah.
different, if they made any different move.
Right.
but if you do think about it, like Mortal Kombat is the one game that has had. Oh, sorry, Psycho.
Damn it.
I'll be next. Has had a lot of different IPs. Like first they were at Midway. Midway got sold off, and then I believe
Yeah.
it came to Warner Brothers
Warner,
after that, and they were
yeah.
like fighting over the rights for that game for a while. But yeah, there's not a lot of people like NetherRealm, like in terms of how they build a fighting game with the story, like an actual good story with the fighting game mechanics. It's rare. So I hope that they are not sold off. I know Warner Brothers and Discovery, with that whole deal, people are trying to figure out which studios they are willing to sell off, and I don't think they will sell them off. But if they don't want to work on the game internally, like they just want to license it out, I can see that happening. Where people could just have the IP of Mortal Kombat. I could picture, like, if that happens and they just license it out to different people, I can picture like Fun Pop, like Mortal Kombat game.
I'm just more worried about
That's weird.
Batman and Hogwarts.
Oh, me too. Hogwarts Legacy. That was
Yeah.
like one of my first thoughts when all of
Mhm.
this started coming
Me
about was
too.
Hogwarts Legacy,
It's like, I really
and
want
where that would be
game.
headed.
And I'm hoping that they're selling, because I can't see Discovery going like anywhere near gaming part of WB. So I'm like thinking out of the box, and maybe they're just joining forces for the subscriptions and to hit their subscriptions up and move into like Disney and a Netflix sort of area, but they're keeping their gaming section separate. Hopefully.
Yeah, for me personally, I think it'd be what would be best is either Discovery Warner, whatever this new company is going to be called, says we all either are all in and we're going to invest in these studios, or they basically the thing that I can't wrap my head around is like they acquired the part of this was so they can get the IPs, right? They want the Warner IPs, okay? And that together to make a new company, that's where all the value lies, right? It's in Mortal Kombat, it's in DC, it's in all that stuff, right? And if you emerge and have this new mega company that's going to have future streaming services, and it's going to have HBO, and it's going to have all the Discovery stuff, and then you have new movies coming out and all this stuff, and then you also got these game companies, right? And you have the IPs, but they, like right now they're in the situation, what we learned is potentially games is a very high cost thing, right? So
Don't. No, your stream's
I'm
loading
back.
on YouTube.
Okay,
Stream's loading.
I'm back.
Oh, he's
Screen's
back.
Buffering.
I'm back.
You're buffering.
I don't
Okay.
think it's you. I think it's internet. It's been playing up all week. It did
It
on
has.
Gaming After Dark. It did on NLG even.
Yeah, it's something's
you're
up
back.
with the country's internet this past couple weeks, guys. I don't know what it is.
Aliens.
Maybe that's what
Many
it
Good
is.
over
Aliens.
here in the Southwest.
But I was
Definitely YouTube.
basically getting like the main thing with this was getting those IPs and stuff, and
But Batman's a
so-
Batman's a complicated IP too, right? Like I know nothing. I am stupid, but it's very No, I'm just saying, like I am no
I like
man
this
of
guy. I like this
business, but it
Yeah.
is a complicated
Ew, I like
situation
this guy.
where you can't just wanting to get the license for Batman is one thing, but you're not getting the IP of Batman owned by DC, right? Like it's
Yeah.
really, there's so many layers to it all, right? Like I want surface level as a gamer, I'm like, I want Rocksteady, just go over to Game Pass, go over to Xbox, and just make me a Batman game.
right.
Just do that for 50 years. That's all I want. And I want the what's the
But here's the thing, like
Mordor
let's
system?
if they
tell me
aren't willing
upon-
to part with the IPs, would anybody be willing to buy the studios without the IPs?
No.
That's the thing I can't figure out in my head, like, because if they can't get DC, like, now maybe they can license it back out, but is that a good deal for Microsoft at that point? To like, okay, we're getting the studio, but we have no guarantees we're going to be able to make DC games in the future. We're going to be able to make Mortal Kombat games in the future. So
But even if they get a
Warner-
licensing deal, like, yeah, I agree with you. It's like, hey, there's no long term of 10, 15 years to look at it. But if they know what they could get off a Mortal Kombat deal, saying we're going to get the license for 3 years or 5 years or whatever
yeah, it
they
would
can
have
get
to
a
be
commitment
something
out of,
like that, right?
better than nothing. And where is that going to go? And if you can get for an exclusive deal and put
Yeah.
it on your platform, the way Xbox likes to operate right now, where we can say, hey, you get new Mortal Kombat or a bite-sized version of it or whatever, and it's day and date on Game Pass.
Well, guys, hey, this is great. Yeah. Awesome. It's buffering again. And there goes Zoom again. And hopefully we come back.
And
The
welcome to
licenses.
Fun Speculation. You're out, Matt.
Yeah.
What
Well,
do you guys
hey-
think? What do you guys,
Oh,
Pong?
we're going into
Oh,
a blur now.
Oh, he's in and
I'm
out.
about
Pong,
to
what do
get
you think
kicked
about it?
out.
It's everybody. It's a crazy thing. All right, so guys, this is
And
going to be
is it Zoom?
this is going to be no, it's not Zoom. I don't think because I was
No.
doing it in a
It's
party chat
YouTube.
the other day, guys. This is going to be. I can tell this is going to be ongoing thing. So
Right.
we'll pick up like another time and maybe this conversation in the future when we learn more stuff. But I want to thank everybody in the chat for hanging out.
Now, it's
Snakewood
fine.
says you're using the
Yeah.
McDonald's Wi-Fi.
That McDonald's like, it's
That's
like a few
why.
miles away, dude. Their reach is outrageous. Guys, thank you so much in the chat for hanging out. I'm sorry about the internet stuff, guys. It's been a blast, and thank you for fighting through it with us. And oh shit, there we go. Who we lose this time? Psycho again. No, that's 3-bit this time.
He was
Did
gone an
Psycho
hour
ever come
ago.
back? Psycho's been gone forever.
Psycho's just like,
Oh,
whatever.
Psychonauts is coming back right
Like I
now.
went to
Quit.
bed.
He
So-
wrapped his hand
There he
in.
is.
Um,
3-bit keeps trying- he's
Nope.